Hello everyone, I'm the Walrus Clown. Welcome to Walrus Reviews, and I'll review anything, and today we'll be going back to my freshman year of high school, the year 2000, for one of the laziest Pokemon ripoff anime I think I have ever seen. Flint the Time Detective, everyone. Honor, start the Tartarus! Flint the Time Detective is an anime airing from 1998 to 1990 in Japan, and ran for 39 episodes. In the US, Flint the Time Detective aired from March 5th to November 5th, 2000 on Fox Kids and is about a cave boy named Flint and his rock axe of a father. That's not an exaggeration. He's literally a hammer made out of rock. Being fossilized by the Team Rocket knockoff team and then being defossilized in the far future by a scientist named Bernie, only to get drafted by the Time Police and go throughout time to rescue totally not Pokemon creatures with magical powers called time shifters with the scientist's niece and nephew, Sarah and Tony Goodman. In order to save the time shifters from evil and save the land of time by returning them to the Time Police's head honcho, a man who I can only guess is supposed to be Father Time. From what I just said, you'd think that this show would automatically get at least a -7 on the Jellopocalypse meter by sheer merit of its what the fuck concept, but is so bagged down by its hyper-repetitive formula that its score goes down considerably, which segues us into this show's formula. Flint the Time Detective is a monster of the day show, where the lady from the Time Police calls Flint, gets sexually harassed by Dr. Goodman.
How about rendezvousing for some fresh pasta?
Dr. Goodman, I'm going to do you a favor and pretend I didn't hear that comment.
And tells them about a found time shifter. Then Flint gets sent back in time with Sarah and Tony to get the time shifter. After arriving in a historically inaccurate as possible past, only to find the time shifter has made friends and is helping a historical figure. Only for the Jessie knockoff character, Petrofina, to use her mind control stamp to transform the time shifter into a time monster and for it to start fighting Flint. After a while, Flint loses his caveman strength by becoming hungry, only for a pep talk given most often by his techno-axe fossil dad, then gets his second wind, breaks the mind control with some MLP brand weaponized friendship, have the time shifter return to being small and cute, have not Team Rocket blast off yet again, and use a time beam from Stone Axe Fossil Dad to fossilize the time shifter. Then defossilize them when they get back to the present after erasing everyone's memories, until episode 6, where they start sending rescued time shifters back in time and transform them into kaiju monster forms and add very lazy kaiju fights to the formula. And while Blank of the Day and Slice of Life shows can make formulas work, Ghostbusters and Phineas and Ferb being good examples, this show's formula gets really grating really fast, not helped by the lackadaisical, hyper-trope-heavy, late 90s kids anime stock personalities every character gets. Flint is a super strong, dumb, but well-meaning idiot who only thinks of food. Sarah is your atypical nice girl. Petra is literally just Jessie from Pokemon with green hair. Tony and Petra's two henchmen are just Applejack-esque background characters. And Murloc Holmes is just a vampire who's also a time detective that I haven't mentioned until now that shows up infrequently is basically an undead tuxedo mask. Anywho, this formula continues up until about the last fifth of the series, where the minor bit of continuity the show has starts to be used, and having the dark, shady, not Giovanni that Petra and crew work for start making his own dark shifters, called the Big Four, who kidnaps a shifter and Petra after she realizes that she was just being used. The Phantom of the Bad Kids anime sends an ultimatum to Flint, and has to come to the Land of Dread, which is basically hell, and face him directly and alone. After catching a ride with Petra's two henchmen, we go through a series of unfunny shenanigans. Where Flint eventually defeats the Big Four with the help of a time shifter who decided not to go back with Flint in his intro episode, who can bamf throughout time and space at will without the help of any kind of machinery, and the only named male alicorn in all of MLP history, Unita. After they send all the time shifters to the Land of Dread and get a spell put on them, turning them into their evil conforms, Flint and crew fails and the Dark Master gets into the Land of Time, where he reveals that his plan was to stop the clock in the Land of Time, which would cause the clock in the Land of Dread to start, thus releasing all the evil from all of human history that was frozen there would release all at once and destroy the world, because he became demented after being banished there and only had torment to befriend. Just for those who didn't get it the first time, Dread wants to kill every living thing because he's a lonely teenager going through that overly dark emo phase. And you thought Dr. No's plan to make everyone stupid by keeping them from going to college was stupid! Anywho, after a lazy fight scene, they make Dread change his ways by saving him, by keeping him from falling out of a hole in the side of the building and hitting him with MOP-grade weaponized friendship. Then Flint and crew chase Petra and her crew through time and the series ends. At the beginning, I said that the concept should have been given a -7 on the Jello-Apocalypse scale for its whacked out concept, but gets a much lower score. If I had to rate the show by his standards, I'd give it a +3, because back in the day, this show would have been what we called lazy Sunday entertainment. If you had a day off and you just wanted to sit there on the couch, veg out, and do nothing while watching something that you didn't have to think too hard about and wasn't too emotionally stimulating, then this was the show for you. And ever since every episode can be easily found here on YouTube for free, it's still good for that purpose. Oh wait, it's October. Next time we'll be looking at something a little more festive. See you then.
Unga bunga bunga. Cave Walrus not know what time he in. Unga bunga, no understand technology. Unga bunga. Hit scribe bell. Unga bunga 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 unga bunga. Hit bell also. Watch other episode. Unga bunga unga bunga bunga unga bunga.